One more week. Here we are. Hello, everybody. Francisco, are you there? I think you are.
I am here. How are
Yes,
you
there you
doing,
are.
Jorge?
Not bad. Thank you very much. Here, just see what's happening today with our podcast, our chapter, and the theme that we're going to talk. We're going to talk about.
The Ottoman Empire, or
Right.
how it affected Spain, although they were never here.
No, they were no. I mean, geographically, they were never, but they were getting really close one day.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is that
Mm.
when we were preparing this topic, it was like, are we really going to talk about something that never happened in Spain? Yes, we are.
That's true. And it was just in the years when Spain was getting very important worldwide regarding, the other side of the ocean blue, the Atlantic, because we're going to talk mainly here about the 1500s when the Habsburg family, when they were taking over the Spanish crown after the Catholic monarchs, all that with because of previous podcasts that we have talked about. And this time we're going to talk about the times of Charles I, who was the first one, and also affected the time of his son Philip II when he was ruling the Castilian Empire all over the world. So, Francisco, put us in context a little bit about all this, please, because there's so many pieces in this puzzle. Let's see how we make the puzzle together, how we put all the pieces together. Okay?
So we need to go back in time. We need to go back to the year 1299. Okay, this is when the Ottoman Empire, what we tend to call the Turks, because yes, they're
Hmm.
based in Turkey, and what today is Turkey, but it's the Ottoman Empire. This is they're following the Islam, they're following the Muslims, Allah, and they're beginning to grow there in what today is Turkey, Middle East. These are growing and growing and growing, and this empire it starts threatening Europe. You have to think that when they grow, I mean, you can come to Europe via two ways. One, like they did, you are in Turkey, then you go to the Middle East, Israel, then you go a little bit south, you go to Egypt, you go a little bit to the west, you're going to go to Algeria, Tunisia, Libya. And I mean, all of this northern part of Africa, it was conquered by the Turks, by the Ottoman
Mm,
Empire.
true.
They're
Yep.
getting very close to Morocco, what today is Morocco. Okay. Once they get to Morocco, they can jump through Gibraltar into Spain, and that's it. So
That,
that's one of the lines that they did.
and that was a big threat because of the proximity of northern part of Africa to Gibraltar. I mean, that was really, really dangerous if we
Um,
let them to get there.
there we go. I mean, we were conquered Spain, not Spain, but the peninsula,
Yep.
Spain, what today is Spain and Portugal, on the 7-11 in that direction from the south up.
Hmm.
So that's what they're doing. They're spreading the Ottoman Empire in northern Africa, but also they're going to the north. Okay, they're going. You go to the north. What today is Hungary. It's there. They start growing big time. They make it all the way to Budapest. What today is Budapest. There. What is the year where they had the big siege? And uh, ah, Jorge, was it in 1541 when they have the Battle of
Yeah,
Buda?
that's right. It was.
Okay, okay, okay,
It
okay.
was. Yeah.
I
You
was
were
like,
panicking. Yeah, actually, it lasted from May the 4th in 1541. Yeah. And it was, the end was the capture of the city of Buda, look what today is, Hungary. And the occupation lasted for at least 150 years until the big siege of 1686. And that siege was part of the Little War of Hungary. That's why it was called at the time. And it was one of the most important victories of the Ottomans over the Habsburg Empire during the Habsburg Ottoman Wars that took place between the 16th and the 18th centuries in Hungary and the Balkans. And now after the siege, what happens? The Battle of the Mohawks. The Kingdom of Hungary was divided by the Ottoman Empire, which was invaded from the east, and the Habsburg Empire. It was inherited by the Kingdom of Hungary.
so
Now, what happened with that?
well, the things that when they got Buddha in 1541,
Hmm.
they kept on going west through Europe, and they're
Hmm.
reaching very, very close to what today? Well, to Venice. This is the
Right.
moment. This is end of 1400s, beginning of the 1500s. This is the moment when Venice is the biggest empire in Europe. Venice is controlling all the goods that are coming from the east, from what today is India, China, Japan. Everything comes through the Silk Route, and everything crosses Istanbul.
Actually, that Silk Route that you're talking about, it was one of the main economic routes, I would say, at the time, wasn't it?
There we go. I mean, it is the most important economical trail
Right.
in that comes into Europe, and it gives all the power to Venice. And suddenly, the Turks, the
Hmm.
Ottoman Empire, blocks that. They don't allow to cross the Marmara Strait. There's no more trading. So for the Venetian Empire, this is a big hazard. For our listeners, to put this in a little bit in time, this is the moment when in Istanbul they're constructing the Palace of Topkapi. Okay, that beautiful,
Hmm.
beautiful palace that it's incredible.
This.
I mean, and the thing is that Istanbul, it has become the headquarters of the Ottoman Empire. And they control that little strait. Whoever controls that is going to allow the trading from Asia with Europe, and they control it. So the Venetians are scared to death. Okay. Suddenly, in 1492, jackpot, we discover America. Okay. Yes, as we have said in previous podcast, we did not discover America. As we're teaching now in our high schools here in Spain,
Yeah.
we discovered the commercial route with America,
Yeah.
which means that suddenly the Venetian Empire is falling down, and the big empire, it is Spain. So
Hmm.
we have the two big empires, one in decline, Venetians, the other one rising, Spain.
Hmm. True.
We are powerful, we are strong, we are Catholics. And the Ottomans are Muslims.
Hmm.
They're Islamic. It's like, and again, when we think about Islamics, we Muslims, let's think that they are super at that time. They are super, super advanced people. I mean, architecturally speaking, as we were talking about the Palace of Topkapi in Istanbul, it's breathtaking. In
Absolutely.
medicine, they're
Hmm.
number one. I mean, they're very good at many, many things, but they don't have our religion. And we want everybody to have our religion. So we don't know what to do. So here we have Pope Pio V, who is scared to death because they are getting closer and closer and closer, and we don't know what to do. They are unstoppable. So we need, yes, Venice and the Spanish Empire, they don't get along very well, but we have a common enemy, the Ottomans.
Hmm. That's right.
What do we do? Well, we don't get along, but we need to get together. The Pope, I think the Pope here plays a great role because Spain is not in threat at this moment, but the Pope convinces us that, hey, if you don't take care of this, you are going to be the next ones. Okay, they're coming through the south, they're coming from Africa, they're going to get you through Morocco, through Gibraltar. So you better give us a hand. It's a moment that we have, well, it's a conglomerate
Hmm.
of armies getting together. We have on one side the Venetian army. The Venetians are very, very, very good sailors. So they are the ones providing the boats. By the way, boats in this moment are not with how do you say bellas in a
Oh,
boat?
sales. Sales.
Sails. They don't have
Sales.
sails. What they are is we're talking rowing boats. Okay.
Hmm.
So the Venetians are gonna supply most of the boats. Spain, we have a huge army. Yes, we're good sailors. Yes, we're trading with America back and forth, forth and back. So we do have boats, but we especially have weapons. We have a lot of cannons. Our artillery, it's very, very good. So
Hmm.
we are the two biggest ones going into there, into this. Let's organize and let's go on a battle. And well, obviously, the Pope is going to also bring a lot of soldiers, is going to bring a lot of money. Because when we think about an army, we tend to think about soldiers and weapons. But all of these soldiers, they need to eat, they need to
Of course. Yeah, they need all the supplies and
doctors,
everything. Yeah.
supplies. Well, obviously, this is a Christian army that we're getting all together. So we need to have priests going along to help. So there's a lot of money involved, and the Pope is the one giving all this money. Yes, the Order of Malta, it's which is a legacy of the Knight Templars, are going to support the Dukes of Savoy. All of these Christian uh, kingdoms around Europe are going to give a hand. But the big ones are the Venetian Empire and the Spanish Empire.
So it
We're
was
gonna,
a big alliance. So it had to make that
there we go.
to be made, I better say, just to stop that invasion that was coming from the east. I assume that it, I mean, to me, any war is not a solution at all. But when you find that if you have something in common, which could be in a way the religion, also the geographical situation that could lead from one thing to another, the invasion, if one wall, let's put it that way, falls, and then they just trespass that walls and continues, obviously it's going to be much easier. It's like battles one after another. So, Francisco, wasn't there a war, was called the Battle of Lepanto, I think it was, that has very much to do, believe it or not, with Spanish literature, I believe, isn't it?
Yes, yes, yes. The Battle of Lepanto.
Battle
Okay.
of Lepanto. By the way, Lepanto today is in Greece.
Yes, it is in the Gulf of Patras. It's
Yeah.
in what today is Greece. So the thing is that all
By
the
the way, I've been there.
you've been there.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Anyway, the thing is that the Turks, the Ottomans, they have they're conquering, or they have already conquered all what today is Greece, all those little islands. They're organizing the navy to
Hmm.
go farther west through the Mediterranean. Okay,
Further,
so
further east,
no, they're in the east and they're going farther
further west.
west. Okay,
Okay.
they're coming to the west. They're coming to
Yeah.
our side.
Yeah.
So we find out this, and it's when the Pope Leo the Fifth says, Houston, we have a problem. Well, I think he said, Christianity, we have a problem.
Yeah.
Is when
Obviously.
everybody gets together. They
Yeah.
get together in Sicily, okay? And Sicily is where all of this navy and army, they get together and they organize, okay? And then they
Hmm.
sail to the east to towards Greece, towards Lepanto. And there is where it takes the big, big, big battle of Lepanto.
Hmm.
This battle is going to be October 7th, 1571.
One. Yeah.
Okay? This is 30 years later than the Buddha
Battle.
war. Okay, the Battle of Buddha that
Hmm.
you were talking.
Siege. Yeah. Mm.
So the thing is that this battle, it is considered to be, let's say, the last naval battle in the old-fashioned way. Okay, with people rowing. From this
Hmm.
point on, we're gonna find wing, not wings. How do you say velas?
Sails.
Sails. Oh my God, how come this word is taking my
Come
brain
on,
today?
Francisco. Wakey,
Sails.
wakey.
I don't know. I think I need more coffee. Anyway, so this is the last battle.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, they don't consider the naval battle of Lepanto, as a naval battle because it was really the infantry, the army, all the cannons on floating platforms fighting against the Turks because it was
Hmm.
not just naval. It was more army. It was, it was cannons. It was more than just boats fighting.
Yeah.
The thing is that in this battle, Christianity won. Okay, and again, we won the battle. We did not win the war
Yeah. It was just a
because
battle. It's La Batalla de Lepanto that gave us the Manco de Lepanto.
there we go. So you were saying before that
Yeah.
it has to do a lot with the Spanish literature. What on earth does have to do this battle with the Spanish literature?
Well, it happened that one of the sailors, fighters, it was there. It was somebody called Miguel de Cervantes.
El
Who was that person?
Quijote, the writer of El Quijote.
That's right, correct. The writer of Don Quixote, and well, actually, Don Quixote it was written a few years later. It was at the early 1600s. It was the very first publishing of the novel, and it is also believed that because of the adventures of Don Quixote de la Mancha, in a way, it could be inspired on the experiences that the writer Miguel de Cervantes, because he was fighting there, all that kind of adventures and everything regarding. By the way, we have a podcast about Don Quixote de la Mancha, guys. Don't miss that out. So you're gonna find like a relation there that all that illusions that the main character Don Quixote is in the book imagining and doing and everything is like battles, which is out of the mad or illusionary visions of a person, and it is believed that some of the experiences of Miguel de Cervantes is reflected on the adventures of Don Quixote de la Mancha. So, yeah, I mean, we didn't won the war per se in that kind of old siege with the Buddha battle and all the Ottoman Empire, but funny things that history give us for the future is that we got that jewel of the Spanish literature. But please, Francisco, continue. It was just something I wanted to
Well,
mention here.
I wanted to say that you're so right. I mean, when Don Quixote, he is a Spanish character. He's
Mm.
a knight. He's a visionary. And he's a warrior. And we have to understand that before Miguel de Cervantes is a writer, yes, he has been writing. Before the Quixote, he is a sailor. He's in the army. So of course, there's some relationship between this big battle that took place in 1571 with the book that was published in 1605. So
Hmm.
it gives. But you said something that maybe our listeners don't know. You said El Manco de Lepanto.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I
What
mentioned it.
is that?
Well, manco, I don't know if there is a word for that in English. I believe it's not. It's someone that is handicapped and can loses an arm. Actually, he physically didn't lose the arm, but it became numb, so he couldn't use it. So it was all the time like this, in the chest, or most of the time. It was useless that arm, and I think that he got retired out of the army because of that. He couldn't battle anymore, and that's why he started writing. I mean, we know that Miguel de Cervantes is very famous because of Don Quixote, but there is many other things written by him. And yeah, Francisco, just leaving Don Quixote now in one side.
Mhm.
What was the aftermath? Do you have any idea about the aftermath, or what was considered the end of that kind of sieges, battles, and everything in the Mediterranean arch? When we say Mediterranean arch, we're talking about South Europe continent, what today is Middle East, and north of Africa, as you mentioned earlier, because they were, as you said, very close to what today is Morocco. So the end of it, the final result was.
So the thing is that this battle, we're talking this is Battle of Lepanto, 1571.
Yep.
By far, the Ottoman Empire ends here. I mean, it goes on to 1600s. I mean, it's like a huge empire. But this battle, I would say, obviously, this is a story told from our side. Okay.
Obviously.
Okay, there's
Yeah.
another part, which is would be if we had here somebody from Turkey or from the Ottoman Empire and say, hey, no, 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 that was not it. This is what in Europe we understood. Okay? In Europe, after this battle, we understood that we have controlled the Turks, we have controlled the Ottomans. So from this point on, we were not threatened anymore. Okay? So now we can fight against each other in Europe without the fear of Islam coming from the East.
Hmm.
So we say that the Battle of Lepanto is the end of the Ottoman Empire, not the end of the Ottoman Empire, but the end of the Ottoman Empire in Europe. Okay.
Francisco, now that you are saying this, we know colleagues from all over Europe. We know colleagues from Greece, Turkey,
Yeah.
south of Italy, what today is Sicily as well. Why don't we try to move our strings in a way that maybe we can make what we're doing today, but with the opposite
Oh,
viewpoint?
a
What
round
do you think?
table.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be great. I mean,
yeah.
if we could convince, I don't know, Mert from Istanbul,
And we have our colleagues in Greece as well, and
yes.
in Italy. Yeah, I mean, guys, we know a lot of people, you know.
Well, that's one of the great things of working for Rick Steves. I mean, some of the best guides in the world are our friends.
Yeah,
But anyway, back to this battle.
yeah,
Really,
please.
it changed the course of the Ottoman Empire in Europe. Okay? As I said, it is not the end by far of the Ottoman Empire, but we are not anymore afraid of them. We're not anymore like, okay, they're coming in, they're going to invade us. No, they're not. Okay, this is the end. This is the moment when we decide that that's it, we are okay,
Hmm.
and we can keep on going with what we have. What would have happened if they
Oh, who
come?
knows?
Who
Who
knows?
knows?
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Really, they were so close to getting to what today is Morocco, so
Yeah.
close to Venice, so close to everywhere that, yes, we would have been invaded by the Ottoman Empire. So, this battle that took place, let's remember, October 7th, 1571, in the Gulf of Patras, in the area of
True.
Lepanto,
That's right. That
really,
Lepanto. Mm.
I don't want to say that it created Europe the way it is, but
It
hey,
was the initial steps.
there we go. So the initial steps of the creation of that European.
Yeah. All righty. Well,
Oh,
Francisco, I think that's very, very. It was a big overview about everything because we cannot get in the details. There is, as I said at the beginning of this podcast, there is so many pieces in this puzzle that is practically impossible to resume everything in a 20, 25 minutes podcast that we are trying to make here. But anyway, yeah, I mean, what today's Europe more or less was that the very first of baby Europe as it is
baby
today.
Europe. I said, yeah, I think it's nice. A baby Europe.
Yeah.
So hopefully our listeners have understood a little bit the importance of this battle that held the two empires, as we said, one in
Hmm.
decline, Venice, one in the rise, Spain, to keep on going with our lives.
Perfect. Okay, well, Francisco, thank you very much indeed for everything that you have shared with us today. Chicos out there, Francisco's website is travelingstep.es.
On Jorge's website, where you can find all his travelings around Spain, it is travelingwithjorge.com.
That's
Check on
correct.
it because you will not regret it.
Same with you, Francisco. You have very interesting tours. Chicos, we will see you next week. Thank you very much for staying there, for keep on listening with us, and thank you again, Francisco. See you. Bye.
Jorge, it's been a great pleasure. We shall see you next week. Adios, amigos.
Adios.
Adios.
And as usual, we want to thank all our listeners for being there every week, letting us sharing our talks. Follow us in Spanish Loops in Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite platform.
And in Instagram, you can find us as the Spanish Loops Podcast. No spaces altogether. If you want to find us the quickest way, just Google Spanish Loops Podcast and you will find us. Hasta la vista, amigos.
See you next week.